Needs to be a commitment to grow the economy, and the budget will balance itself.
The Liberals have announced a 2-month pause on the GST on some goods and services, as well as a one-time rebate check of $250.
2 months, Canadians are going to get a real break.
Today, what you would make of this move. So I'm going to start with you, if that's okay. What do you make of both the policy and the politics?
It's embarrassing. You know, if you're going to go out with some dignity and some integrity rather than flinging billions of dollars at the public in hopes that they'll forget why they hate you. This is such bad policy on so many levels. We're going to borrow $6 billion to throw ourselves a party so that people can move purchases forward and backwards so they can take advantage of this. The biggest recipients, for example, if you dine out at restaurants, the more expensive the meal, the bigger the break you'll get. Well, who's that going to benefit? Is that going to benefit the poorest among us? Is that going to benefit the richest among us? We're going to give a tax break to people on alcohol sales. That's great public policy. We're going to give a tax break on snack food at a time of rampaging obesity. That's great public policy. It's going to needlessly clutter up an already complicated sales tax regime. We've got about 25 different sales tax regimes in this country, depending on whether it's federally taxed or provincially taxed or not federally taxed or not provincially taxed, and every possible combination of the two. Yeah. And now we're going to add a bunch of completely arbitrary categories of tax breaks again on top of this, and it's all going to last for 2 months. Why? Well, to tee things up for the election, and also I suppose part of this is you have to pass a bill through Parliament, so the Conservatives, who are now protesting quite rightly at the government's refusal to release documents, will be put in an invidious position of, why are you blocking this bill that is going to give goodies away to Canadians? This is just so cynical and such dumb public policy, it's hard to believe.
Kelly, what do you think?
I think this is gimmicky, like it was called when Aaron O'Toole introduced it in 2021 as Conservative leader. And I think that was the criticism then, and I think it's true
by the
today.
Liberals.
Yeah, that the Liberals have now taken up. It's so temporary, and the lag time to this too. As someone who used to work in retail, I'm worried about all the returns that retailers will have to deal with up until December 14th. And then what happens in mid-February when this comes off? Do the federal Liberals expect that the goodwill from this will continue on, or are they thinking that an election will happen within the next 2 months? That's what makes me wonder. It also, on the policy side, this is the opposite of what we should be worrying about as a country right now when we're talking about per capita GDP and that kind of concern in terms of real productivity and those bigger economic issues. This is the foam on top of beer that's not going to be taxed policy. And I think there will be, trust me, if the NDP wins on this, they win on the fact that they suggested there would be no GST on diapers, which I can completely get behind and makes perfect sense. The problem is this is temporary, and I think a lot of people will see through it and will have concerns that it is just a temporary measure for Christmas.